Hey everybody, it's Mattie here with Altcoin Buzz on a Saturday. Happy weekend to you all out there in the Altcoin Buzz army. Hope you're having a great one so far. We're looking at an important 10-year anniversary, so something a decade ago that was pretty significant in the world of cryptocurrency, talking about the first Bitcoin transaction actually, and Forbes has been covering it. We're going to take a look at the market as well. Well, let's just do that now. It's nothing really to write home about. As you can see, we're pretty much flat down 0.12% over the last 24 hours. However, Bitcoin is up 2%. So nothing really to make a big deal about one way or the other. We're still kind of at the low point of, I suppose, the most latest retracement. But let's begin, as always, on altcoinbuzz.io now with this story by Chris. 2019 should be the year that a Bitcoin ETF launches. That is a quote. We'll let you know in a moment who supplied it. So Bitwise Asset Management, a crypto asset manager, on Thursday, the 10th of January, filed a Form S-1 with the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission in the US, with hopes to list a physically held Bitcoin ETF, Bitwise Bitcoin ETF Trust, on the New York Stock Exchange. So this ETF would track the Bitwise Bitcoin Total Return Index, which includes any, quote, meaningful hard forks. The Bitwise Bitcoin ETF Trust will track the price of Bitcoin based on data taken from large, trustworthy exchanges. The physical Bitcoin will be held by a regulated custodian. That is a very important feature. I do not think that can be emphasized enough, because that really changes the dynamic of the kind of product that this is that's being offered. And according to the firm, these changes should alleviate concerns that regulators have about other current proposals. So here's a quote by Matt Hogan, the global head of research for Bitwise. The SEC has asked thoughtful and relevant questions about the quality of the crypto trading ecosystem, the reliability of crypto pricing, the strength of the arbitrage function in crypto, and the robustness of crypto custody. We have spent the past year researching these questions and look forward to discussing those findings with the SEC staff in connection with the filing and listing application. And according to the rumor mill, the New York Stock Exchange is going to file a Rule 19B-4 request with the SEC just a few days from now. And this is basically designed around requesting a rule change in order to allow the New York Stock Exchange application to be approved by the SEC. More importantly, quote, the ETF to be listed once the registration statement is declared effective by the SEC. And you can read about what John Hyland has to say here about the 19B-4 application. He's the global head of exchange-traded funds for Bitwise. And as Chris writes, it's important to note that John Hyland was one of the people who oversaw the creation, launch, and rollout of the first ever crude oil ETF, which is USO, in the United States. So the first ever exchange-traded fund for crude oil. That's an interesting precedent, and that happened back in 2006. John was also part of the team that is responsible for the first gasoline, heating oil, and copper ETFs. We've talked about that before. Think about copper, how many thousands and thousands of years copper has been around as a commodity. In the historical context, it really just received its ETF designation very recently. So of course, there's no guarantee that this ETF is going to be approved, but it's safe to say that we have an expert as an advocate in our corner, writes Chris. He has helped start 4 brand new and very large ETFs over the course of his life. And let's see if it can be done again in the world of cryptocurrency and blockchain. You can read about the form, the full S1 that Bitwise Asset Management filed with the SEC. We've linked to it here, so you can check that out. It's available, again, if you want some pillow talk with your partner, maybe help yourself fall asleep if counting sheep isn't working. You can check out the United States Securities and Exchange Commission Form S1 registration statement under the Securities Act of 1933. This is a dense piece of writing, guys, as you can see here. It is quite lengthy. I'm not sure how much of this anybody is realistically able to get through in a single go, but there you have it. The challenge has been set. If you feel like reading through this, we will link to it in the description below. We've also linked to this piece on prnewswire.com. Bitwise files for new Bitcoin ETF. After nearly a year of in-depth research, firm believes it can provide the SEC with the type of information and data the agency has indicated it needs to fully evaluate Bitcoin ETFs. So this from just the other day. If you want some more details on this story as it's developing, check out this piece as well. And taking a look at our second piece today, and to wrap things up, we are celebrating an important anniversary. It's the 10-year mark of the first Bitcoin transaction. And hey, look at this. It's being covered by Forbes. Favorable coverage of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency by Forbes. That's always good. So 10 years ago, the first transaction involving Bitcoin took place, marking a new era for the global monetary system. We've talked about the 10-year anniversary of Satoshi Nakamoto's white paper that happened in October of 2008. So fast forward 10 years, we talked about that a couple months ago back in October 2018. We talked about recently the anniversary of the first block. And now we're talking about the transaction which took place between the pseudonymous creator or creators behind Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakamoto, and Hal Finney, a US software engineer and longtime cryptographer and cyberpunk. This listing here of officially calling him the creator of Bitcoin, Hal Finney, that is, may elicit some controversy in the comments below, but have at it. This is only Forbes' contention. But as they write, Finney is also one person many suspect as being Nakamoto. Illustrating his enthusiasm for it, Finney tweeted what is considered to be the first post about it 10 years ago. And you can see here that they link to the Twitter post. So this is from the 10th of January, 2009 at Hal Finn. Very simple, 2 words, running Bitcoin. Of course, there's been so much that's happened in these last 10 years and 2 days now. According to Nadia Zhang, co-founder and chair of Social Alpha Foundation, a not-for-profit grant-making platform supporting blockchain for social good, the industry has changed, quote, the manner in which people connect for commerce, governance, finance, and industry without the need for a middleman. From cryptocurrency, which has redefined how we define, quantify, and exchange value, to trustless ledgers that bring databases into a realm of interoperability not possible before, Bitcoin and its technology has changed everything, she added. And continuing, she said that it will continue quietly and powerfully powering the new internet. So quite an interesting milestone. Here we are. I think we're at this point where the anniversaries, maybe the 10-year anniversaries, the 5-year anniversaries are going to start accumulating more and more and more as this market grows, as this industry grows, of course. So you have milestones like these that we can look back on. I think going forward, we're going to be able to look back on more and more with increasing regularity. So let us know what you think about that. Already over 10 years since that post back in 2009 by Hal Finn running Bitcoin. Let us know your thoughts below. Definitely fun to look back on this kind of stuff. That's it for today, guys. Short news day. Be sure you're following Altcoin Buzz and Altcoin Buzz News for the latest, of course. And we're also on Facebook and Instagram and Telegram. You definitely got to make sure you watch our last video if you have not already. If you choose to invest on this Saturday, I wish you only the very best of luck. All my positive karma is being pushed in your direction, guys. But most importantly, enjoy your Saturday. Enjoy your weekend. Have a great one. And we hope to see you again soon in our next video. Take care.